Welcome back to Essick Farms. Today I'm going to do a video update for the pigs that we bought in January. Also going to give you some very interesting information on raising pigs for breeding and raising pigs for meat. So hit that thumbs up and we'll get started. So I went and picked this up today. I was looking for a hayspeer, a 3-point hitch hayspeer, and I saw this on Marketplace. Had to look twice. I couldn't believe what the guy was wanting for it. So as soon as I saw it, I sent him a message and said, I'm interested in it. Can I come pick it up tomorrow? And he said, yeah. I gave him $75 for this hayspear. So if you watch some of my first videos, you know that we bought some Duroc pigs, and they were 7 weeks old, so they're just little bitty things. Now they're a little over 5 months old, so I want to show you how much they've changed in 5 months. So here they are now, a little over 5 months old. They're around 300 pounds or so, a little bit above 300 pounds. I don't have a scale, but the way you can kind of get a ballpark figure is to measure them. And what you do is you measure around their front legs and get that number times itself, measure from their head to their tail. So that number times this number divided by 400, and that'll give you a ballpark figure of what they weigh. So 300 pounds is about where I want them. They look really good, and this is a good weight for killing because it's a good ratio between the fat and the meat of the pig. You may hear some people say they need to be bigger than that, 500 pounds, but I mean, if you like a lot of fat, then I guess so, but I like a little more lean. So they are where I want them, so I'm not feeding them any pig grower anymore. They're off that now. They are just on soaked corn. I did a video on that too, if you want to go back and watch that, on how to soak corn. I think it's very beneficial to the pig. It's soft on their teeth. It's good for their digestive system. So go back and watch that video if you want to. That's a good way to feed your pigs, and they'll eat a lot more. So I got them on soaked corn and on whole kernel corn. That's what I'm going to finish them out on. And they're going to the butcher July 20th, I believe. So they may get a little bit bigger, but I don't want too much fat or anything. So here's the numbers I got when measuring the pig to get the ballpark figure for his weight. So I measured behind the front legs round, which gave me 53 inches. 53 times 53 is 2,809. And I measured length, which was 48 inches. 48 times 2,809 gave me 134,832. Divide that by 400 and gave me a ballpark weight of 337.08 pounds. So let's talk about the breeding side of raising pigs. Maybe you want to have a couple of sows to raise little piglets to sell. I used to do this. I had 3 sows and a boar. Back when I was doing it, I would sell my little piglets for $35 a piece. Now you can get up to around $60 to $65 a piece. So there's some profit to be made there if you can balance out your feed bill. Because I mean, if you sell 10 little pigs at $60 a piece, that's $600. So there is some profit to be made there. Now it does take a little more room, and you probably want a shelter. You don't want your pigs just having piglets out in the open. You know, anything from birds to raccoons, possums, coyotes, whatever can get in there and get them. So you kind of want your pigs to be up in a little area. I had a little 10 by 10 building that I built for them to have their piglets in, and that seemed to work fine. Once they get it where they're eating and moving around pretty fast, you can kind of just let them out in a smaller area. But it does take a little bit more on that side of having a structure and maybe a smaller pen for them to have their little piglets in. So if you are interested in having sows for breeding to sell the piglets, here's a little information for you. Their pregnancy lasts 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. So that's 114 days. Normally you can get them pregnant twice a year. You probably don't want to go over that. You want to let them rest. Each time they can have up to 8 to 12 piglets. So you might want to keep that in mind too. You don't have to go out and buy a whole herd of hogs. You know, you can buy 2 sows, and when they have babies, you can have up to 24 babies. So you might want to keep that in mind too. They come in heat every 18 to 24 days, kind of like a cow does. This is the very interesting part. The piglets are weaned at 3 to 5 weeks. So that's really good if you want to sell the piglets, because you're not going to have that much money in feed, maybe a bag and a half or so, depends on how fast you sell them. The way I used to do in my little building that I had a corner off, and around 3 weeks, I would put feed in there where the mama couldn't get to it, but the piglets could. And once they start eating, I'd start putting them in the paper. Back then we used paper to sell things, but I'd start putting them in the paper for sale, and you wouldn't have that much money in the piglets. So that means more profit that you're getting from the little piglets. So the sows can be bred at 8 months old. So you could pretty much have a sow that has babies at the beginning of the year, and by the end of the year, those babies are having babies. This is why it's such a big problem in like Texas and other states, because the pigs reproduce so rapidly and so often that they get out of control, and they can't really do anything about it because they just reproduce so much. But this is good if you want to raise piglets to sell, because like I said, there is a good room for profit there if you can balance out your feed bill. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. I really think pigs are amazing, that this animal can give so much in such a little time. You know, either way you go, if you want to raise them for meat, you buy them and they're small, and 5 months later they can be 300 pounds and you can get meat out of them. Or if you want to buy them for piglets, you can buy them, and 4 months later you're going to have 8 to 10 piglets running around. So they really give a lot in a short amount of time. And I just think that they are a great animal to start with on a farm. If you're starting a new farm, or you just have a little area in your backyard that you want to raise some type of animal to provide meat for your family, I really think a pig is a really good way to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time here on the farm.